Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 70 of Center Girl Sports Pod. And softball lovers, I cannot wait for you guys to hear this episode today with my friend Kelli Braitsch, who is a former national champion at OU softball in 2000 and a former All-American, among many other things. Some of you may remember, my longtime listeners, I hosted Kelli last year on episode 18. You may want to go back and give that one a listen, at least the first part of it, if you want to hear Kelli's story on her time at OU, her accomplishments, and some of her favorite memories of playing, as well as her time in Tulsa with the police department, her traumatic brain injury, and where she is today in life. But Kelli is absolutely incredible. I love talking softball with her. I text her throughout the season and always enjoyed chatting with her, so I could not wait to welcome her back to the show. We do have quite a lengthy conversation about softball. We do a regular season recap for Oklahoma, as well as talking about the SEC tournament and a look ahead to the postseason with regionals in Norman this weekend, our possible matchup in Supers the following weekend, and the road to Oklahoma City. And Kelli gives her hot take on who she thinks the 8 teams will be in Oklahoma City. So softball lovers for sure will not want to miss this one. But before we get there, we're going to go through a quick rundown of this week's Sooner headlines of the weeks, the MVPs of the week, and a few other things. But before we get started, let me do a quick thank you to my sponsors, Marvin's Place, a fine art gallery and listening room located in the Depot District in Ardmore. Come experience amazing artwork, and on Friday nights, visit the listening room, an intimate and unplugged venue. They host singer and songwriters on Fridays from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Relax with a glass of wine or craft beer and enjoy some wonderful music. You can find out more, including links to all of their social media, their music calendar, all artwork and jewelry at their website at marvinsplace.gallery. And I'll do a quick plug. I love going down to Marvin's Place, but as you know, there's usually some sort of sporting event on Friday night, so I haven't been down there in a while, but I did go this past Friday night. Unfortunately, didn't have any softball to watch since our girls got beat out of the SEC tournament. But on the bright side, got to head down to Marvin's Place and see an amazing musician and see my friends. So if you ever are in Southern Oklahoma or just want to take a little road trip for a fun, unique experience, I highly recommend going by to see Todd, Susan, and my friends at Marvin's Place. And on your way to Marvin's Place Art Gallery, you can stop by and see my other sponsor, Therapy to Go in Ardmore, the funnest place in town to drive through for a drink, and you don't even have to get out of your car. They have a large variety of spirits as well as fountain drinks and snacks, and you can find them on West Broadway in Ardmore on your way into downtown, on your way to Marvin's Place, and they are on Facebook and Instagram at Therapy to Go Ardmore. A quick update on an injury. Not recording with Dr. Lynan this week. Thank goodness we don't have a lot to talk about. I do miss chatting with him, but I'm sure we will have plenty to talk about as football season resumes in the fall. But quick update on our left-handed pitcher, Cam Johnson, who exited the baseball game last weekend against Florida with an injury. He did start this past weekend versus Arkansas in his usual lineup. He participated in a simulated game earlier the day before his start, and he did just fine, went well. So very good news for our baseball team going forward to have Cam Johnson back for sure. Okay, where will I be this week? If you would like to find me at a sporting event, here's where you can find me this coming week. OU baseball is hosting Tennessee at Bricktown Ballpark. I will be there on Thursday, May the 14th, and so I hope to see you there. If you're going to be there, give me a shout out. I would love to say hello. I'm also planning to attend softball regionals at Loves Field this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm not sure what days I will be attending, but if you're planning on getting out, give me a holler. I would love to say hello. Okay, on to this week's Sooner headlines of the week. Just a few general headlines to get through. In case you missed it, Rainier Development Company will break ground on the Rock Creek Entertainment District this week on Tuesday, May the 12th. The arena will be the new home for OU men's and women's basketball, as well as women's gymnastics, and it is expected to seat around 8,000 fans. So, not going to go off on my thoughts on that. I have mixed feelings about it for sure. My main concerns are it being so far away from campus and the extremely reduced seating capacity. So all I'm going to say is if you're a big fan of these sports, get out and support them. In the meantime, you may even consider getting on the season ticket list right now as you can, as that will give you first dibs on things as the new arena opens. I believe it's projected to open in the 2030 season. So keep that in mind. That reduced capacity is going to make tickets a little harder to get, possibly make them more expensive. I know we don't usually fill up the LNC as it is. Obviously hoping that changes going forward, but just something to keep in mind nonetheless. I do want to give another quick shout out to my Sooner Sports Awards winners from the Sooner Girl Sports Pod family. These are athletes or coaches that I've had on my show. Now, we had lots of great award winners this past Monday night. You can go and check that out on social media to see all of the winners. But I just wanted to give a quick shout out to those from the Sooner Girl Sports Pod family. For the Jay Myers Award, which is the most outstanding true freshman with a 3.0 GPA and athletic potential, my soccer player, Allie Lassinoli. Outstanding Scholar Athlete of the Year with a minimum 3.5 GPA and elite athletic and academic performance is my guy, Ralford Mullings of track and field. Athletics Council Service Award, Excellence in Community Service and Leadership, basketball player Beatrice Culleton. Athletic Council Achievement Award, Resilience and Excellence Through Adversity, Leah Brannon Reeves. Leah's episode has not aired yet, but it will be out in June. Athletics Director Leadership Award, leads by example and representing OU and the athletics department through their actions, fosters a positive team culture and demonstrates unwavering commitment to excellence on and off the field. Again, shout out to our rower, Leah Brannon Reeves. Fuzzy Bennis of men's gymnastics is Male Senior of the Year. The Sooner Magic Award winner is Sydney Thompson of OU women's volleyball. Also, our men's gymnastic is our Male Team of the Year. My guys, Fuzzy Bennis, of course, and head coach Mark Williams. And another shout out to our back-to-back national champions. The Sooner Sports Awards Female Team of the Year goes to women's gymnastics and my girl Hannah Shibley, whose episode of the podcast is dropping next week on May 20th. So again, that's just a shout out to those award winners who are members of the Sooner Girl Sports Pod family. So I encourage you to go back, give their episodes a listen, and go check out all of the other award winners on social media. Also, the OU Athletic Department is excited to announce the hiring of Mark Turisani as Deputy AD in Sports Administration. He provides executive leadership and oversight of sports administration and student athlete support units. He joins us coming from Illinois, where he knew Roger Denny. So welcome to Norman, Mark. Just a quick note on the football front. If you've seen any photos going around from the caravan that is touring the state with a few of our head coaches and AD, you may have noticed that Coach Venables has on a neck brace. Well, I was concerned about that, didn't know what had happened, so I inquired, and I was told that he is just fine. All is well. It is an old injury he had on his back and neck, and he did have surgery on that to repair some things, but he's fine, so no concerns there. Also, our men's basketball team get their backup center with Oregon State transfer Yak Yak, who has signed with Oklahoma. We also landed a 4-star guard coming out of high school, Quincy Wadley, ranked number 43 player in the 26 class. He becomes the highest rated recruit Porter Moser has landed at OU. So pretty awesome. High hopes there coming for our basketball team. Former Sooner women's basketball player Reagan Beers has made the active roster for the Connecticut Suns in the WNBA. Even though she was not drafted, she was signed to their practice squad shortly after the draft and has made the roster, and she's already making waves with that team. So shout out Reagan and best of luck to you in the W. Another shout out to our Sooner Sahara Williams and Team USA, who won the FIBA 3x3 in Manila for the first time ever. US won back-to-back events in Chengdu and Manila, and next up for them is possibly the World Cup. Also, shout out to our senior gymnast Faith Torres, who it was just announced this last week that she is the Honda Award winner, which is basically like the Heisman Trophy of women's gymnastics. It's back-to-back winners for OU, as Jordan Bowers won that award last year. So shout out to Faith Torres. What an amazing accomplishment and well-deserved. Speaking of Jordan Bowers, she was hired as an assistant coach at Nebraska, where she is from the state of Nebraska. So she will be heading back home to be an assistant for the women's gymnastics there. Also, congrats to future Sooner gymnast Sophia Estrada, as she won the Senior D Vault title at DP Nationals this past weekend. Congrats to our men's gymnast Jesse Haney and Hunter Simpson for qualifying for U.S. championships at the USA Gym Development Program National Championships. Jesse Haney won the all-around floor exercise and parallel. Hunter Simpson in the all-around pommel and still rings. Junior world champion and current U.S. senior national champion member Dante Rivet is pre-qualified to USA's, and he did not compete this past weekend. Moving on to baseball, what a roller coaster it continues to be for Skip and his crew. Game 1 at Arkansas on Friday night, final in 7 as we were run-ruled 12-2. We were run-ruled for the second straight game as they dropped that series opener in Fayetteville. We were in a very tough spot, to say the least, after that, as we got ahead several runs to start the game and then gave them up. Same story continued on Saturday as we lost again 12-8. Gave up 7 runs in the 8th inning to drop that game. Not good. We once trailed 5-3, but then scored 4 runs in the 6th and 7th frames on a 2-run homer by Kyle Branch and a 2-run double from Dayton LaChance. We just needed 6 more outs to set up that rubber match, but unfortunately couldn't get it done. However, Sunday, we did not let them sweep us. It ended up being a decent weekend, going out on top at least, as we beat Arkansas on that Sunday matchup 15-10 to prevent the sweep. We lit up that scoreboard for a crucial win. Dickerson, LaChance, and Brock hit home runs. OU hit 5 home runs on the day, including those 2 from Drew Dickerson. We really needed that win as we head into hosting Tennessee at Bricktown Ballpark in Oklahoma City next weekend. Note, that is a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. So I hope to see you there on Thursday night. I will be there, and fingers crossed we can get a couple of wins over Tennessee for sure. That would help us going into the rest of the postseason. On to softball, just a few shout outs I want to give to former Sooner Jaden Wallace, who has been selected as the SAC Coach of the Year for the 6th time in her incredible career as head coach at USA softball in Chickasha. She has a 606 and 168 record. She's been Coach of the Year for the NAIA, 6-time Coach of the Year for their conference. They were 2018 champs. 8-time conference champs, 10 national tourney appearances, and 23 All-Americans that she has coached. So shout out to former Sooner Jaden Wallace. Jaden has also previously coached with former Sooner Amber Flores with the OKC Spark. I'm unsure if she's actually coaching with the team this summer or not, but she has coached with them the previous 3 years. Quick rundown of the AU draft, which occurred last Monday night. As we know, Elena Agbayani was given that golden ticket and guaranteed a draft, as she is going to the Chicago Bandits, where she joins Jocelyn Allo as the only other Sooner on that roster. Also, just a reminder for the OKC Spark, Sid Romero is coming back to Oklahoma this summer to play for the Spark, and she will join Sooners Kinsey Hansen and Haley Lee, as well as Oklahoma native Sydney Sherrill. Also, we have several other Sooners in the league as well. Sam Landry, Jada Coleman, Kelly Maxwell are with the Cascade, Alyssa Brito with the Blaze, and Riley Boone to the Volts. Their season starts on June 9th. That's the first home game for the OKC Spark. I will be there. I would love to see you there, so I hope you get out and support our Sooners in the AU this summer. SEC softball awards were also given out this past week as Kendall Wells wins Freshman of the Year for the SEC. We also had several all-SEC first-team members with Ella Parker, Kai Miner, Gabby Garcia, and Kendall Wells. Second-team members Abby Dayton, Bella Emmerling, and Audrey Lowry, and our all-defense team, Ella Parker and Gabby Garcia. On to the SEC tournament. Just a few quick stats on that. Kelly and I do go into a lot of detail about the season and our SEC tournament recap, as well as looking forward to postseason, so I won't go off into a ton of that. Just want to give a few headlines. He ended up losing that game 10-5 to Georgia on Thursday. We were up 5-0 entering the 4th inning. Kai Miner had 3 hits and a solo home run. That was the largest blown lead for OU since the 2016 Women College World Series. Last year, we were the largest comeback win in a SEC tournament history with that win over Arkansas. And this year, the roles were reversed and it was done on us. Kai Miner was the only Sooner with multiple hits. She was 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and a home run. Kendall Wells went 0 for 3. The 6-9 hitters were a combined 0 for 11, which is not good. As much as pitching was the problem, the bats were definitely asleep too. Coach Gasso said in the postgame after that, quote, "They got us. They shell-shocked us. Our pitching staff started to get anxious. I felt our hitters getting anxious. Our defense got anxious. There was a glazed look on faces, and that's not something I have seen all season." But the NCAA selection show was Sunday night. We did receive the number 3 overall seed. If all goes to seeding, OU will host number 14 Oregon in a super regional at Love's Field for Memorial Day weekend, narrowly missing a Bedlam rematch for Supers just by 1 seed for OSU. Just a quick note, we did eliminate Oregon in the regional final in 24, and then we eliminated Oregon last season in the Women's College World Series. If all goes to seeding as far as that continues to go, we could possibly play in the Women's College World Series number 6 Florida or number 11 Texas Tech in Oklahoma City. First, we have to get through regionals. We got a fairly favorable matchups coming this weekend as we host game 1 on Friday afternoon, 2:30 for OU. Binghamton is coming to Norman, and then the game 2 after that on Friday will be Michigan against number 8 Kansas. Now, if OU wins on Friday, we will play again on Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. If we win that game, we will play again on Sunday at 2 p.m. To get out of the regional. If we happen to lose on Friday, which we had better not, we will play at 4:30 on Saturday. And then if for some reason we lose one of the Saturday games, we would play again at 7 p.m. on Saturday. And then, of course, the as needed game 7 of the weekend would be at 4:30 on Sunday after the first game, if that is needed. Basically, it's a double elimination tournament. We would have to get beat twice. So obviously it's looking pretty favorable for OU to come out of this regional and host Supers for Memorial Day weekend, but who we host is to be determined. Quick shout out to our former volleyball player, Lydia Martin, who plays in the major leagues with the Indy Ignite. She was named the middle blocker of the year for the league, so shout out to Lydia for that. Our tennis program, unfortunately, both suffered losses in the Sweet 16 this past weekend, both our men's and women. We were only one of 6 schools with both the men's and women's teams in the top 10 to end the season. So such an incredible feat there. Our women suffered a loss on Friday, 3-4 to Pepperdine late into the night after a several hour weather delay in that Sweet 16 in Norman. Then our men suffered a 3-4 loss at Arizona on Saturday. And I just want to give a farewell shout out to my tennis players that I've had on the podcast, Bruno Naveen and Julia Garcia Ruiz. Both of those are seniors, and I've watched them play for OU. And they will truly be missed on the roster. I know they are leaving behind a great legacy and lots of great players. And I'm going to have to definitely find some others to get attached to. But I just want to give a quick shout out to, again, my Sooner Girl Sports Pod family, Bruno and Julia, as they end their tennis careers at OU. And thank you so much for all that you did for us. Quick rundown on track and field and the Arkansas Twilight in Fayetteville this past weekend. Chessie Scott had the first W of the day as she set a new meet record with her throw. Adrian Stupan earned a personal best in the men's 300-meter steeplechase with his time, and Neptune Navdah took the women's long jump title with her leap, and Ashley Lister followed behind her for silver with her personal best. Up next for our track and field crew, they head to the SEC Championships at Auburn this coming Thursday, May the 14th. Our rowing team headed out to SECs in Tennessee this past Sunday, the 10th. And we had a pair of podium finishes and a 4th place team showing. So congrats to our 3x4 plus and our 1x8 plus for bringing home the bronze at the SEC Rowing Championships. Our women's golf is the number 4 seed in the NCAA Ann Arbor Regional, which teed off today as I'm recording this on Monday, May the 5th at the University of Michigan Golf Club. So be sure and check social media for all the updates regarding our women's team as they play the tournament this week. Also, our men's golf team, number 4 seed in the Corvallis Regional, and they will be playing on May 18th through the 20th. Also, shout out to our all SEC first team members from our men's golf team, Ryder Cohen and Jace Summy. Just a reminder to make sure that you follow me on all social media platforms at Sooner Girl Pod, especially on Twitter and my Facebook and Instagram stories. That's where you can get a lot of up-to-the-minute updates on all the things. So I hope that you will make sure and go give me a follow there. Also, whatever platform you are listening on, I hope that you will go and share this with a friend. Make sure you download and follow the show so that you don't miss anything. And make sure you'll follow me on all platforms. Again, I'm on all the social media platforms at Sooner Girl Pod, and I'm on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and Substack. So if you are on any of those platforms, go and give me a follow. That helps me more than you know. Also, a quick shout out to our Sooner MVPs of the week. Okay, first of all, last week I forgot to read these on the air. I did publish my graphic on social media that I published on Thursdays just to make sure that those drop after the episode airs. But I did forget to read last week's on the show. So I did want to give a quick shout out to OU softball SEC regular season titles back to back, and our men's and women's tennis for being regional champs, headed to the Sweet 16, and one of only 6 schools for having both men's and women's tennis in the top 10 rankings. So shout out to those guys for that. Did not want to get them overlooked on air for those who just listen. My other MVPs for this week are Sahara Williams and Team USA. Basketball, Reagan Beers for making the roster in the WNBA. Faith Torres winning the Honda Award, which is the Heisman Trophy of women's gymnastics. Lydia Martin, a former Sooner volleyball player, for being middle blocker of the year for the MLV. And also to our softball players, Kendall, Ella, Kai, Gabby, Abby, Bella, and Audrey for their SEC conference honors. Also our rowing team for finishing bronze and a fourth place overall team finish at SECs. And again, just another shout out to our Sooner Sports Award winners from the Sooner Girl Sports Pod family. Those kids mean so much to me. Just them giving their time to be on my show. I love supporting them. So cannot thank them enough. Also wanted to give a quick honorable mention to Porter Moser and the men's basketball team for being so great in the portal this offseason, and also for nabbing 2 great incoming freshmen for the 26 squad. Segment of the show with the Sooner fun fact of the week. JD Martin was a OU track and field standout who won the NCAA pole vault title 65 years ago, and then he went on to win a gold medal in the decathlon in the 1963 Pan Am Games. He would return to OU to coach track and cross country from 1964 to 1997. And we do have one of the invitationals is named after him that we host at our facilities in the spring. So again, thank you all so much for your overwhelming support. It truly means more than you know. When I see you guys out and about, when you send me pictures of you wearing my merch, you're posting it, you're tagging me, you say hello, it truly means more than you know. So I hope, again, go give me a follow at Sooner Girl Pod on all the platforms. Go follow me on everything. Grab your merch, soonergirl.bigcartel.com, and shoot me a picture. Make sure that you are subscribed to my Substack. And ladies, the huddle and my locker room, we have a chat that is so much fun, a monthly online gathering we call the huddle. I do giveaways, you get merch discounts, all the things. Also advertising opportunities and sponsorships if you would like to be mentioned and on my social media graphics like Marvin's Place and Therapy to Go. You can shoot me an email at soonergirlsportspod@gmail.com or message me on social media. Again, all of this information I just read is in my link tree, which is my link in bio on all my social media. So I hope that you will go and give me a follow and check it out and find a great way to support the pod. There's plenty of ways, even free ways, to support me, and it truly means more than you know. On to my interview with my girl, Kelli Braitsch. She was born and raised in Broken Arrow. Her parents both went to Oklahoma, won the first ever Gatorade Player of the Year for softball in Oklahoma. She was recruited to play second base and shortstop for OU. She won the first women's national championship at OU in 2000 with that softball team and made the Women's College World Series team in 2000 as well. Player of the Year for the Big 12 in 01, All-American in 01, broke her jaw in the Women's College World Series and pregame warm-ups. She was the first to wear a paintball mask of any kind on TV. Played in the second game of the Women's College World Series that year in 2003. We talk about that on episode 18, last year's softball episode. So if you want to go back and give that story a listen, you won't be disappointed. She worked for the Tulsa Police Department, unfortunately suffered a career-ending TBI injury in 2019, and now she's medically retired and resides in Rochester, New York with her wife, Courtney, and their fur babies. And Courtney is hilarious on social media. Go and give them both a follow for some great softball content for sure. But you can find Kelli on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. She is at KRayZ8, and I will tag her in the show notes, of course, and I will be tagging her and Courtney on social media all week. So I hope that you will go and give them a follow as well. And I hope that you all enjoy my conversation with Kelli Braitsch as we recap softball. Look forward to the postseason. And you guys will not want to miss tuning in next week on the May 20th episode with our reigning national champion, fresh off the Natty with the women's gymnastics team, Hannah Shebley. So you guys, Boomer Sooner, let's cheer on our softball girls and our baseball guys this weekend and all of our Sooner sports. And I will see you next Wednesday where we talk sports. I've been excited to talk to you, since we talked last year. I enjoy chatting with you about softball. So obviously we got a lot to talk about.
We do.
So good timing with the selection show last night and everything. So it's very exciting what's coming up. I guess let's back up a second and just talk about the season as a whole thus far. I know we all had a lot of aspirations and a lot of talent on the roster. And in my opinion, I don't really know that they've disappointed us. I mean, we have high expectations as Sooner fans, obviously.
That's true.
I mean, nobody's perfect. And so
God, no.
I feel like every time they've fallen and gotten kicked in the teeth, so to speak, as Kinsey Hansen would say, they've responded well for the most part. So I'm hoping they continue to do the same going forward. But that's kind of my thoughts on the rewind in a brief nutshell.
Yeah, they definitely, the positive, I think, what a lot of people don't realize is I don't think all the cylinders are firing at the same time, which is not a bad thing. Because you're getting in that postseason and coach knows how to activate all of those at the same time and make it very dominating. So there's a positive and negative because, of course, I don't think it's hurt us throughout the season, but I mean, we've had some losses because of it throughout the season.
Definitely.
So, but I mean, if we can, coach always says, get your offense, your defense, and your pitching all together. And it doesn't even have to be great. It just has to be good and synced. And they'll be fine. And I mean, I'm not worried about them at all. And I can say that probably more loosely than previous because, man, this year, I think every year that I talk about softball, it's like, man, this year's been a crazy year. This year, I think tops so far.
It's been crazy.
Yeah, nobody wants to be number one because number one, it loses immediately.
It's a curse.
It is. It's a curse. And so not that I was excited that we lost out of the SET, but I was just like, if we win this, we'll be number one, and I don't like it.
I don't disagree.
So my, my superstitions got the best of me. And I mean, if you look at the SEC tournament, look at everybody else who lost too. Texas was the only one who won, throughout, and and congratulations to them.
Yeah.
And so, I'll have to throw a side note in. I mean, I know how everybody feels about Texas, but man, if Nebraska, which I thought we talked about it, I thought Nebraska would get the number one simply because they were ranked the highest in the polls. They had a really good RPI ranking, and then they won their conference. So I would feel as Nebraska that I got slighted just a little bit. But if it wasn't Nebraska, it sure should have been Texas. And they explained it last night. They said, well, we looked at all the head-to-head with Bama and the head-to-head with Texas. And when we talked to Kat Osterman and I talked throughout the week, and she said, but we had such a bad April, which they made a mention, I think, a couple weeks ago about how they seem to struggle every year in April. Which their losing streaks, which is hard to even say, is always in April. But I'm like, but you came in and you won the tournament, and so I could have seen them as a number one seed over, but I don't make the money to make the selection.
Exactly.
I got the top 8 correct when I messaged you. I just didn't get them in the right order.
You did. Well, and I said that too. Like, I hate to say it, but I'm afraid Texas might be the number one seed. And, obviously in the grand scheme of things, that part doesn't necessarily matter, but
no.
And again, I know Sooner fans, we don't want to say Texas should be number one, but I agree with all that you said. And I did think it was kind of strange that Bama would get that number one ranking because, I mean, they lost in the SEC
and
tournament
it wasn't close.
No, it's not.
That's the other thing. It wasn't like it was an extra inning game by one run. Yeah.
I mean, they got beat by 6 runs, I think, 5 or 6 runs at least. And so I did think that was kind of strange. I didn't know if Nebraska could jump all of those spots, but also Texas, they would have necessarily had to jump some spots as well. However, they played and won their conference championship game. So I thought, it was interesting to say the least. But
we lost. Texas Tech lost. Technically, if it would have just been a regular week and not the seedings, Nebraska should have jumped to number one. So that was just and good for Nebraska for sure, because they've been struggling for a few years. And They obviously have some R players to help them out, our former players. So good for them for coming back and, winning the Big Ten. So
yeah, I mean, and they beat UCLA, which is huge. And Megan Grant, as much as Sooners may not want to talk about it, broke that record against Jordy Ball of all pitchers. But honestly,
I was surprised with that. Yes,
I was too. And obviously I hate it for Kendall and for Sooners, but at the same time, I'm like, she hit that off of Jordy Ball. It's not just some random, no disrespect to any other pitcher, but like we all know, Jordy is an excellent pitcher. She's one of the best players, two-way players that we've seen in a minute. So for her to have hit that off of Jordy, that says a lot. So, I mean, there's still time for Kendall to, quote, catch up or do her own thing. But regardless of what she does or doesn't do in the postseason, I mean, she's done enough and still has 3 bright years ahead of her. So whatever. I mean, I know it was something that OU fans wanted her to get, and we wanted that bragging right and all of that.
But she's got 3 more years to crash all the other ones. This is Megan's last year. And you know what?
Very true.
Megan's a great player. Obviously, she went and played basketball with using props to her for going to play basketball. And because I asked Coach if I could walk onto the basketball team, and she said, no.
I just can't fathom. I mean, when
I
heard it is. When I heard she was doing that, I was just like, oh my gosh, but she clearly did it well.
Her, props also, like you were talking about Jordy being a good pitcher. That goes to show you right now, the hitting is favoring. You can be a great pitcher.
For sure.
Pickens, Nigeri, Jordy. I mean, you can be a great pitcher. You're going to get hit. You're going to get hit home runs.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's just the technology of batting right now is way higher than anything we can do with pitching. And I know that just means, we were just talking about this the other day. They made a comment about the Athletes Unlimited League uses a slightly heavier ball to try to knock down the extreme home runs.
I did not know that.
So throughout the years, they've changed the bats, they've changed the balls, they've changed the bats, they've changed the balls. And I'm getting to the point where I'm like, we haven't changed anything in a minute. So if you want those to lower, or are we worried about like, oh, we want to make all the teams look good and hit all the home runs?
Right.
So something's going to need to give if we want to go back to a pitcher dominated thing. But
that's so true. That's so true. Well, and I know this isn't OU related, but that Arizona State pitcher that they played against Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship the other day. I watched that game, and she's gotten recognized throughout the season with the conference at least. But I mean, I don't know how she would compete, quote, on the big stage against some of these SEC powerhouse teams. But as far as the Big 12 goes, she's done very well against her competition, obviously. Beat Tech, and she played a big part in that. So I'll just be curious to kind of see how they play out going forward. Right. I mean, I don't even remember where they're seated in their regional and things like that, where they're going to. But
Texas A&M in them, I believe, because that's what I was like, that might actually be because Texas A&M has been kind of roller coaster.
Yes. Yeah.
Arizona State's obviously coming up on the rise on the back end of it. So,
that'll be an interesting one.
But, that also goes like, the Arizona pitcher did such a great job this weekend. And I'm going to give props to the Georgia pitcher that got us.
Oh my gosh, yes.
She pitched very few innings against us previous. And, we were talking about it the other day. Fans of the world of softball. It is so difficult to beat a team 3 times in a year. For sure. And we did it to Georgia, which ended their streak of losing all 3 in the SEC.
Yes.
We had to play them a 4th time. Like, eventually, they're going to have your number. And I'll even go back to the last couple of years with Long Beach State. Long Beach State has been so close to beating us. What happened this year? They finally did it. And that listen, those are the unwritten rules of softball. That's the way it goes.
For sure.
And once again, that pitcher didn't pitch against us. She wasn't one of their, I'll say, 1, 2. I think she's like a 3, 4 pitcher, But she handled us like nobody's business. And I know everybody's watching the video to see how to handle us.
Yes.
Props to her for coming out and have a dominating pitching moment. And that's what, no matter what team you're for, remember that guy that hasn't played a whole ton, or lady, excuse me, is going to get you sometimes. And she got us. Now, hopefully, Coach, I know Coach.
That was a tough loss for her.
I watched that and I was like, ooh, I feel that one. So
yeah.
I saw some comments last night, which it really made me chuckle because not everybody seemed, the team, when they're videoed and they show, oh, you got this seed, they didn't seem overly excited. They didn't.
Right.
So we got some like, oh, the girls weren't showing very much emotion. They almost looked upset. And I was like, okay, first of all, let me tell you guys, Coach tells you before you go on camera, act like you've been there. Act like you've been there.
So true.
Don't get overly excited, but also don't show your emotions, because I'm sure everybody remembers Washington a few years ago, which by God, they totally had every right to walk out on that. That was a bad seeding year, in my opinion.
I remember that.
Which also I remember put a bad light on Wichita State, who had a great year.
Yes.
Which they ended up coming to us, and then we ended up playing them. So Coach will tell you, don't look upset, don't look too excited. There's even keel. And that's exactly what the girls did.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then I also heard a comment or two about that was made about, well, maybe they were super sore from practicing so hard. And I was like,
that's probably true.
You are not wrong. Yeah. I always joke around that I have nightmares of Coach Gasso. Coach Gasso, I've always said, she never really yelled. She's not like, she'll get in your tush when you need it, but she's not much of a yeller. But I could hear her yell, get on the line. Everybody get on the line. And you're just like, man.
Several times this season on multiple occasions about, I saw her face. I've seen that before. I don't want to see that again. So they were on that line for sure. Running home.
And then they needed to be.
Oh, for sure.
They did not. Throughout the season, we get a little kick, we kick back. And they just didn't kick back this time. And Coach knows that, no, we can't be doing that, you know.
Yeah. Well, and, kind of back to the SEC tournament and what happened there. I mean, we get a very quick 5-run lead on Georgia, and we're like, okay. And I'm sure they were thinking, oh, well, we beat them 3 times before. But like you said, we talked about that. At some point, they're going to get your number. But we get that 5-point lead. And my thoughts were, okay, well, this is nice, but you never take it for granted. I mean, not to talk about baseball or compare that, but like our baseball team had a 5-6-run lead on Arkansas every game all weekend, and they dropped 2 of them. Like, you can't count on getting a big lead like that, especially in that environment. And so I think what disappointed me the most as far as the tournament went is, like you said, there were times that they didn't kick back. They didn't punch back like they have in the past. And that's exactly what happened in that Georgia game on Thursday. Is I was sitting there going, how do you let a team score 10 unanswered runs against you?
It's been a minute since that's happened to OU for sure.
I can't remember.
I can't even think last time somebody scored 10 runs, which
I can't either.
I think I saw a post about the last time they got run ruled was like 2015.
Yes, 15. Yes.
Ruled doesn't mean 10. It only means 8.
That's true. That is so true. It was the largest blown lead for us since the 2016. But last year we had the largest comeback win in the SEC on our favor, and this year it was done to us on the other side. So
once again goes to show you that hitting is dominating.
Oh my gosh!
I mean
yes,
it is dominating on all facets.
It is,
and you just never know. Who did we watch the other day? It was Bama. Bama hit the home run to get the lead.
Oh yes, yeah.
Okay, so that girl, the ball was literally probably on the highest outside strike that you could get, and I don't even know if it was actually strike. It was right on the line. And I know the general calling for the SEC had been a little lower.
Yes. And
not only did she hit it, she pulled it over the fence. And so you even get that where that was I don't want to say it's a bad pitch. Obviously, she did something good with it, but that's not a pitch you typically swing at as a lefty. A righty, you're going to get on that. And she took it. So it just goes to show you that even those tiny mistakes that you make can be hit so hard.
Yes, and we have seen that a lot this season. And I misspoke earlier on the name of that Georgia pitcher. It was Presley something, the girl that pitched against us. And I believe they said she had only pitched like 4 innings. That was the most she had pitched all season, and it had been like 6 or 8. Harrison, Presley Harrison, I think.
Okay, that's I remember the last name being Harrison.
Yes, okay, I remember the first name.
We got it going together.
We got it together. Presley Harrison, but she's a freshman, and I mean, to think that she came out and did what she did after not having pitched in the SEC hardly at all season long, and then you're in that game against Oklahoma, regardless of what we're ranked. Like, everyone is. I don't want to say scared to
Right.
play Oklahoma, but they feel challenged. They want to rise to the occasion.
We have a target on our back.
We do. And when we get beat, whoever beats us is ecstatic. And obviously I don't disagree. If I were a player and I were to beat a team of that caliber, I too would be excited. But
Right.
also it kind of frustrates me sometimes because I'm like, no offense to OSU, but when they beat us earlier this season at Devon Park, they acted like they won the World Series.
And I heard that comment about Georgia too.
Yes, and I'm sure that they did. And I don't mean any disrespect to either one of those teams because they should be proud.
Absolutely.
As for Bedlam, Ruby Malin came out on that circle, got the job done.
She did. And
props to her.
Well, look at those. They had 3 games in a row where they destroyed everyone.
Gosh, yes.
They did. And congrats to her for being
for sure
co-pitcher of the year, which I've heard all the debate about that, and I will agree from what I've heard that Ruby should have won that outright, hands down. She owned everybody. Mm-hmm. Georgia's doing very well.
Yes.
All these teams that were kind of in the middle rankings, they are peaking at the right time.
They certainly are. And so it'll be very interesting. I remember a couple of years ago, UCLA got beat in their super, or maybe it was their regional. Maybe it wasn't even super.
Regional Liberty.
Okay, yes. That's right. Yes.
San Diego State.
That's right.
Newbie. Stacey.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
San Diego State. Yep.
I just remember them getting beat. And of course, they were hosting. And you're just like, what?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like a wake up call. Like, holy smokes, if UCLA can get beat at home in a regional, like it can happen to anybody, right? And that really is a good reminder. I know that was a couple years ago, but.
Well, Texas A&M last year.
Well, that's so true. They did.
Number 1 the first time. And
that's right.
I can't remember. Last year, South Carolina was going to UCLA.
Yes.
UCLA beat them in South Carolina for supers last year in the final innings, like with 2 outs and something. And so I always find it very interesting that the committee does this way. And that leads me into, look, if who wins, we will be playing Oregon.
Again.
And I'm like, I was happy Boston University didn't get sent to us for something like that.
Yes.
And they're probably like, oh, thank God.
I'm sure they were.
So, I know they have fun, but still. But I always find it very interesting on the teams if Texas wins and Texas A&M wins. Well, look at that. They're going to play in the supers. I was like, you guys got a little funny on your side there.
They did.
Hey, we switched this. These 2 teams can play. So.
Well, and who knows? But, I know I mentioned to you yesterday because there had been some chatter about, oh my gosh, if the stars align or whatever, we could get a Bedlam rematch in supers. And I had mixed feelings on that. Obviously, Bedlam's a big deal in my house with my husband being a Pope. But did I really want to have to play them 2 or 3 times in a row? Not necessarily. But also, I'm like, I don't know if they could have beat us that many times. But who knows? But anyway, that would have been cool for the state of Oklahoma, for sure.
But you also don't want to pin each other against each
other.
No. Because
that's so true.
Same thing when I wish TU could make it down to the World Series. Imagine all 3 of the Oklahoma teams in the World Series.
That would be
that
cool.
Would be amazing. But
it's because we have home field advantage, duh.
Yes, it's our backyard.
Yes.
Because nobody complained about it from the 90s all the way through the 2000s.
Exactly, yeah.
So 2013 when we started winning everything. I'm just like, come on.
Get out of here.
So, stop that.
Well, so for our regional, we've got
Binghamton.
Okay, I have not heard of them before. And then
they're up by me.
Okay, awesome.
They're 3.5 hours south and east, right on the New York, Pennsylvania line.
Okay, good to know.
Outside of New York City.
And then we get Michigan and Kansas are our other 2.
Yeah, and hey, props to Kansas.
I know, right?
Jennifer McFalls, the Texas A&M grad and OU coach.
Yes.
USA team member. She's got in Kansas. I think they finished 4th in the Big 12.
I think so.
So hey, props to them.
That's awesome.
They're not happy about coming down to play us.
I'm sure not, but that's a name you don't normally see in postseason softball. So yeah, like you said, shout out to them for sure. That's awesome. And then Michigan, first person I thought of, shout out Alex Storako.
Right.
I really would love to see her in Norman this weekend for sure. I don't know.
Be there anyways. She will.
That's so true. I'm sure that she is super excited, obviously, about this weekend. It could be a good matchup for sure. So anyway, so we start off on Friday afternoon and play
Binghamton.
Okay, you said it with confidence earlier. We're gonna go with it.
I'm sorry if I screwed it up.
Same. So we get them on Friday afternoon, 2:30, first game.
Yep.
So obviously I don't know a ton about that team.
No.
But congrats, props to them for making it in the postseason.
They won their conference and they got here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yep. And so I'm sure that they have mixed feelings about coming to Norman, but I hope that they enjoy their experience, and the atmosphere I'm sure will be great. Well, it'll be interesting to see who comes out of that Austin regional, and then if College Station, if they get matched up, and then back to us. If we come out of, whoever comes out of the Norman regional gets matched up with the Eugene regional winner, which probably will be Oregon coming to Norman again if everything goes as planned.
And I can't remember who
either.
The other high seed is. They'll be playing Mississippi State.
Oh, yes.
So us and Kansas are the high seeds, and then Mississippi State and Oregon, which, I mean, Mississippi State can do it too. So
for sure.
So, and I mean,
Coach
obviously,
Ricketts.
Yeah.
Some more how to
handle it postseason. Yeah. She's one of them, but then you got Lombardi, and it's like, ooh, battle of who's been through it more. So,
gosh.
So all the OU people together.
Yes, I was going to say, I do love seeing all of the OU DNA across college softball, because the Gasso coaching tree is insane. From former players and former assistants, and now all the things.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see, though, and that says a lot about her and our program. Yeah. And then just everybody as an individual, obviously. But yeah, it's just really cool to see. Even, like we have Haley Lee, who's a fairly recent grad, and she's an assistant coach at UTD with Casey Dixon, who's also a former Sooner.
Yes.
And I'm just like, who knew? I mean, I didn't recognize Casey's name when I first got acquainted with her. But yeah, it's just crazy. All of these names that often get overlooked or that are older that we've forgotten about. And I'm like, holy smokes, this OU coaching tree is insane.
It really is. And I mean, UConn won their conference, which is G.
Yes.
So Coach G now.
Yes.
And so they'll be playing it. And, I have I get to see all these former OU players, and then people I played against, like Deichel, who I played against, and she coached a year at OU as a GA. And so, I mean, that's like all of a sudden I look at, somebody, I'm like, man, she looks familiar. Obviously, most of them are married, and then so you don't put two and two together. And then I'm like, oh wait, that's so and so. We played against each other, and so that's also fun, because
so crazy. Yes,
you got all these girls that 20 years ago you played against that are very successful in their programs and doing great. So I love that. I love seeing all of that.
I love that too. I love that too. Well, like we talked about with Oregon, I know they came to Norman a couple years ago. Bittersweet situation, of course, for sure. And Sid Romero is there also.
Yep.
Which
Sid's
good for her. And Sid will be playing with the Oklahoma City Spark this summer.
Okay. Yeah.
For the professional team. So that'd be cool to have her back in the state. But anyway, it'll be interesting if that super does come to fruition. But so as far as its regional goes, I'm imagining if all goes as planned, which you never know, it'll be OU Kansas on that Sunday game, you think?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think they should handle regionals fairly well. Even if they don't play well, I think they'll, compare it to the Georgia game. We didn't play bad. We just didn't come back. We started off and then we died off.
Yes.
So I mean, I think we have all the tools right now, and we're at the part where even if we don't play a great game, we can still win it. And an ugly win is still a win.
Absolutely.
And I hate to, Coach Gasso would kick me for looking outward, but even to look into what we assume is going to be Oregon, there should be nothing in our path that we can't beat. Now, that goes all the way through the World Series. Anybody can beat anybody on any given day.
Oh, for sure.
Bama was super hot, and then Texas took care of them. Arkansas was super hot, but lost out the first game. So you have all these teams that are streaking, and Texas has been, obviously, I think they were pretty hot to start off the season, and then they had their whatever April thing funk that they go through. And then they played very good this last weekend and owned Bama. So, I mean, you have all these teams that, man, it's whoever's going to be firing on all the same cylinders.
So true.
Pitching, defense, offense. If whoever is going to carry that on or carry it mildly and then just get hotter and hotter up until the World Series.
At the right time. Yeah.
That's going to be who wins the World Series this year. And I can guarantee you there's no stat this year that can give you any clue on who's got. I mean, they all said it last night. Jessica Mendoza was like, I can't even say there's a clear number one, because everyone's just kind of, this person beat this person, that person beat that person, this person randomly lost to this team.
Nobody's held on to it. Yeah.
Yeah, no one's owning anything, which will make for an amazing World Series.
Absolutely.
You're not going to just get one team that's going to get hot and sweep all the way through. You're going to probably have a few in I think I've said the last couple of years, I'm excited about the battle that's coming for us and others. I mean, you got a bunch of people that are punching other people in the mouth, knocking them out. And then it's just whether or not they can come back through, the losers bracket, or if they get hit once and it's a split 3-game series. I mean, roll of the dice right now for anybody.
I agree. Well, and I saw on Twitter last night, looking forward, if all goes as seeding, which who knows, but it said, you could start the World Series with number 6 Florida or number 11 Texas Tech in Oklahoma City. So, I mean, we have faced Florida before in Oklahoma City, and what memories we have with that.
Right.
And so that could be interesting. Of course, Coach Walton, former Sooner.
Right. And then Jaime, who played, coached, and is now back to coaching us.
Oh, okay. So, yes.
Yeah. So that's always an interesting one.
That one could be for sure. And then, of course, Tech, Naja Kennedy, we faced her before. And I know we texted about her last night, and we're not trying to rag on anybody here, but I feel like they've paid a lot of money for that roster, and I don't know that they really have a lot to show for it in comparison to what other people are doing. I mean, and it's just crazy. I want to like that coach.
Yes. And she's not mowing everybody down like she was at Stanford.
No, not at all.
Which, I mean, great for us.
I know, right?
Or great for anybody else but them,
Exactly.
They do have, they are kind of what I would assume would be the Yankees right now, and not producing.
Yeah.
That's, and it's, I mean, obviously they're doing well. They've been doing well. They just, they kind of are, they seem to be streaky, and they have the UCLA pitcher, the redhead from
Caitlin Terry.
Yep. And then they have Mia Williams.
Okay.
Who was the second baseman for Florida.
Oh, that's right. Yes. I forgot about her.
Her dad, Jason Williams, the pro basketball player.
That's right. I forgot about that.
So they have a lot of transfers that I mean, I guess I feel like they should be playing better than what they have. I mean, you should have won the Big 12.
1,000%.
I mean, you should have won
the Big 12. They got shut down. Shut down.
And I didn't even realize, because of course, we're not in the Big 12 now, so I pay attention, but I don't pay attention like I used to.
Same.
I just assumed it would be OSU or Arizona, and then it ended up being Arizona State, and I was just like, okay, well, they had a late season surge. Good for them.
They did.
So, I mean, but yeah, they gosh, and I would probably say I'd rather see Texas Tech right now, because Florida's been, they've been firing pretty good. They played well. I realize they did lose out of the SEC, but so did we.
Right.
So, I mean, I think really any of them is going to be a battle. And once again, it goes back to who's got it all clicking.
That's true. That's so true.
So, and I think Florida's having the similar problem we are. They're all not clicking together.
Very, very, very true.
From what I've seen. And obviously Walton's been there a few bajillion times.
Yeah.
Love me some T-Wally. That's what we used to call him, T-Wally. He was my hitting coach for 3 years. And I mean, I love what he's done down there. And I root for him whenever they're not playing OU.
Absolutely. I have no problem with that.
I can see it being Florida. I would say if I was to draw it out currently after this last weekend, I could see it being Florida.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so I pulled up the national seeds just because I didn't want to forget anybody, but let's just go through the top 8. Alabama, Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Arkansas, Florida, Tennessee, and UCLA. Well, and then on the back half, Florida State, Georgia, Tech, Duke, OSU, Oregon, A&M, and LSU. Okay, so a couple things I was going to mention in there. One, which we'll get back to this here in a minute, but because I want to ask you who you think might make it to Oklahoma City, if you dare guess your top 8.
Yeah.
But Plank the other day, he was talking to Toby Rowland on something I believe for News 9, and Plank said that he thinks that Texas will get beat out in supers and will not make it to Oklahoma City. So that's his hot take. Very hot take from Plank.
That is a hot.
Right. So
Mr. Plank. Wow.
I know that's a ballsy take. I
Don't give them bulletin board material.
Right.
But he can do that. He
can do that. He can.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, am I saying I wouldn't be mad if that happened? I mean, okay, it'd be funny if it didn't if it did happen, but do I really think it's going to happen?
No.
I don't think so, because if they get A&M out of that College Station regional and they will play them in Austin, obviously.
Right.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I mean,
anything can happen. I mean, it happened to UCLA. Anything can happen. But hot take from Plank that I'm kind of on the fence about. But anyway, so Tennessee, Carlin Pickens, to talk about pitchers and all the things. That girl is something else. And I really like her as a person. It seems like that team, I kind of feel like they've been on a roller coaster of some degree this season also, as has everybody else.
Right.
But she's a damn good pitcher.
And if I was going to throw the one top 8 right now that wouldn't make it, I would say Tennessee.
Okay.
Because Tennessee was firing really well on all cylinders in
early
March, April.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they started to get at the very end of April, and it kind of seemed to, like, they were losing games that it reminded me of the Georgia game.
That's
like,
so true.
You're chugging along just fine, and then all of a sudden it's like boom.
That's so true.
And so if I was going to throw which I don't even know, I'd have to look. I'll look at the things here as we go through it. But that would be the one right now that I was saying that hasn't been peaking at all. Texas, I understand their April was ugly.
Yeah.
It's been ugly the last couple of years. So that just tells me, okay, they like to have a little slack off before they kick it into full gear.
Exactly. Yes.
And I think that's what we did the other night against Georgia. It's like, oh, like you said, we're up 5-0. And let me just tell you, everyone, no, I did not watch the whole game. And no, it wasn't because I turned it off because we were losing. I fell asleep when it was
late.
Yes. Recall, I'm on Eastern Standard Time.
It was late for you.
I'm over 40. I am 45 now. I was tired.
It was late.
I literally, I fell asleep and it was 5-1, and we still had enough innings back that I wasn't confident. I believe I woke up to Courtney yelling no, and I believe it was 5-5. And then I think I dozed off a little bit again, and then all of a sudden it was like 6-5, and then I passed out.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Whenever my dog got me up to go to the bathroom, I checked the score and I said, oh my God.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't have to see that again.
No, you didn't miss anything.
I did not. I was like, all I needed to do was listen to Coach's press conference, which I told you I did. And I was like, that is exactly, I mean, I was back in the room getting yelled at by Coach in that moment. I was like,
yep.
Practice is going to absolutely suck this week.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Ugh.
Well, yeah, it was a rough night for sure, but
we made it through.
We did, and like we said, Georgia and Texas in that championship game on Saturday. I don't know that I would. Not Georgia, I'm sorry.
Bama.
Bama. I don't know that I would have believed if you had told me that those would be the two on Saturday playing. Now, I did watch part of the Georgia-Texas game on Friday night. I'd been following the score the whole time. I came in my house as it was ending, and they walked it off. And, I mean, honestly, as a Sooner fan, I was like, dadgummit, like, come on, Georgia, like, get it together. Like, you beat us, you can't beat them too the next day. Come on. But I wasn't really surprised that Texas did that because, hello, I mean, it is Texas. And I mean, they played us hard for 3 days, and it was a long 3 days. And
it's emotionally exhausting, and we weren't even playing.
Yes, exactly. I was exhausted. Oh my gosh. And so just seeing what they did, I was like, well, I think they're going to win on Saturday, which obviously they did. But again, with Bama being in that game on Saturday, and here they come out with the number 1 seed, which we've already kind of talked about that. I don't know that I would have picked those two to be standing on Saturday. It was just an interesting pair, in my opinion. But that being said, as far as what Plank said about him thinking that they get beat out of supers, I don't know. Maybe they get a hot head, and maybe it happens. Anything can happen,
and that's true. That is true.
That's
not the one I'd call as my sleeper team.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. I mean, I don't disagree with you about Tennessee. If I had to pick one of the top 8, that would probably be.
Out of that, because the one team that I really, I would love to see in the World Series, I will always root for them because it's family. It's a family team. Arkansas has been so close the last couple of years.
They really have.
I want it. Of course, I want it for DJ. I mean,
I know.
But I want it for Coach Deifel.
Yes.
She has worked and worked, and she's really made that program elite,
relevant,
and they just they're right there every time, and so that's and I think they will. I think this is the year that they get in.
I hope so.
Yeah, and I would say out of the top 8 that we have right now, I think Tennessee would be the one that I'd pick to probably get beat. That being said, UCLA wouldn't surprise me. I know they're going to go to a 3-game battle with South Carolina because South Carolina's got last year to motivate them.
Absolutely.
And they've swapped fields.
They've swapped.
And South Carolina's had some good wins this year.
They have. They really have.
They've had some upsets and stuff like that. And so that would be the other team that I would think would be like my bubble team. Yeah. You know, like, ooh, I'm just not sure. Everything else from the lower 8 or 8 to 16. You know, Florida State's had a really good year, but I have not. I hate to say, I don't think they've had a click of all cylinders all year.
I don't disagree with that.
It just seems to be like up and down, and they're young. I think they have a ton of freshmen, which is scary because if they're playing this good and they're still getting seeded, 9.
Yep.
That means the years to come is going to be scary. So for everybody else, at least if they don't, I know that they have a lot coming back the following year. But,
for sure.
But I don't see, I mean, obviously, probably Georgia would be my other team that they could mess around and swoop on in. So
they could.
They have a complete package team. I mean, they're probably one of the other pitching packages that there's not really one clear, defined, dominant person, especially with Harrison coming in and showing us what's up.
Goodness, yes.
Whereas, Alabama's got the blonde, I don't know her name. She did really good. And then they have the freshman pitcher too, but the one pitches most often. She's a clear number one.
Yeah, they're ace.
Is a clear number one, like, whereas I think right now those pitchers that are kind of doing a full-blown package, I think those teams are going to have a little bit more success through this.
Jocelyn Brisky.
Okay.
That's the Bama.
I know. I know it's a ski.
Yes. That was going to drive me crazy. I had to Google it.
No, I get it.
So, okay. I see LSU sitting back at number 16, and I have obviously mixed feelings about LSU as well. Honestly, I don't know that I would have any feelings toward LSU if not for Peyton Monticelli.
Right.
And of course, Avery Hodge is a former Sooner as well, who is there. And I don't have any ill will toward her. But Peyton Monticelli, obviously,
has
their
been
family.
Doing phenomenal down there.
Yes, she really
Our
has
Wisconsin
well.
Wonder is doing great down there, and we love it.
Yes, and that Monticelli family is the sweetest. And I know that you know them much better than I do, but just my interactions with them, and I've spoke with Nate for the podcast that's coming out later this month. But they are just the sweetest family, and I always really liked Peyton and following her overseas last summer in Great Britain. I was going to interview her for my podcast, and then she went in the portal, so that never happened. But that's okay.
You'll have to do like an Olympic portal.
I know, right?
Yes. There you go. That way you can get all the former Sooners.
Yes.
There you go.
I love her. I wish her the best. I'm curious to see kind of how they do. I think they'll probably come out of their regional fine. If they get matched up against, I guess it would be Bama and Supers, that's gonna be rough. So I hate that for them. I feel like I wish that they could make it to Oklahoma City just for Peyton's sake. I think it would benefit them as a team, her and Avery both having that experience in Oklahoma City, and them coming in, that would definitely behoove them. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen, because if they do come out of their regional, which I think they will, they're going to match up against Bama, and they'll be in Tuscaloosa. So
and they've been playing well, but I don't think. Yeah, I think even on an off day, Bama's going to beat them.
I think so too. I do. I do.
And I would say I had more cheer for them when Howard Dobson, which was my hitting coach my senior year. I only got him for 1 year.
Yes.
When he went down there, I had a little bit more, because generally I'm not a fan of LSU.
I for sure
because of some fan things that happened when I played.
Yeah. Okay.
But we love Peyton to death. We will always root
Yes.
for Peyton.
Absolutely love Peyton.
And Lauren, if you end up watching this podcast, I'm waiting for you to come home to Syracuse so we can go over and see you.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
yes.
she's from Syracuse, and so she said, well, next time I come home, we'll holler and we'll meet, because it's only like an hour and 15 away from us. So
that's
I'm
awesome.
just waiting.
I will be jealous.
Day. Yes. Yeah,
I'm going to make sure she hears this.
Yeah. Well, that's,
At least
you tag her in this.
I will make sure she hears
Courtney said.
I love
it. We've been up here a year and almost a half now, and we haven't seen her. So
okay, well, she better get to hopping.
All right. Yeah.
Maybe when she's
over, so
right. Maybe
I don't
when
know
she's
if she
not
travels with her. Yeah.
You know, they've obviously been all over the place between Nate playing hockey, which unfortunately he's not playing again next season, which I totally understand. I talked to him about that. But so with him not playing hockey and Peyton won't be at LSU anymore, maybe they can calm down a little bit.
Have a break.
Have a break from traveling across the United States.
Sit at home and not wear, they'll be sitting in the nice cool temperatures of Wisconsin during the summer.
Yeah, they won't know what to do with themselves, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so who do you think's making it to Oklahoma City?
All right, hold on. Let me pull up my I gotta pull up my 8 here.
So technically, I think from what you said so far, basically you think the top 8 will stick except for Tennessee. So
yeah, maybe. I can see Tennessee not. Now who would beat them? I guess I should look at that first.
That would be Georgia, right?
Oh, okay. If that's the case, then I would actually call that upset.
Okay, yeah, that would be Georgia.
Call that one. Yeah. I can see Georgia taking it in, and then maybe who's UCLA play?
So UCLA,
they're 8.
They'll get Florida State.
Florida. 9. Oh, that's right. Because they're no, I don't see that one. Not this year.
I don't either.
No, I think Florida State's too young. So I think Tennessee. Yeah. I can see Georgia bumping, and then pretty much everybody else in the top 8.
I don't disagree with that at all.
I mean, just because, like, if you said, let's have a tie for number 1, I literally would say right now, in taking all facets, your play throughout the year, your RPI ranking, your last ranking, and how you did in conference, I would literally say Nebraska, Texas, Bama, us. I'd even throw in Arkansas. I'd throw in Arkansas because they had the hardest season. I mean, they played a ton of tough competition.
They did play a lot.
And I mean, that right there, if we could break it up into that many, we'd have that many number 1s in my if that was the way it could be done, I'm pretty sure everyone would have got a 1 seed in that direction because of the combined of everything they did. So, and I mean, you got your Florida, your UCLA, and your Tennessee's not far behind them. So I agree. If Georgia can do what Georgia has been doing the last couple of, and even when they played us at home.
Oh yeah.
I think they can beat Tennessee because Tennessee's been tanking and it hasn't been like an ebb and flow. It has just been going down each time. And so
true.
Now if Tennessee ends up making them, hey, good for them. I got, they're not a team I dislike typically.
For sure.
So, but I would love to see the Florida State upset over UCLA just for Lonnie Alamina's aspect of it. I mean, I would love that. So, but they're going to have to really get it. And when we won, we were all freshmen that had never been there, didn't have a clue what was going on.
Right.
We were just playing ball because we love to play ball. No one anticipated us to do anything, so we didn't have all this like, oh, what is OU going to do this year?
Right.
And we came in and snuck everybody, under everybody and beat everybody and got it done. So maybe Florida State will get there.
That's so true.
And sneak around and get everybody, but winning it, I don't see that happening. Not with the format that they play these days.
Same. Okay, so Plank is calling for Texas to get knocked out, and you're going to call for Tennessee to get knocked out.
Yeah, I would not. Texas would not be, not this year. No,
I wonder how he feels about that now, knowing how the seeding actually is, and they're going to get matched up against A&M. I wonder if his thoughts on that have changed, because that was last week one day. I want to say Wednesday or Thursday last week when he was talking to Toby Rowland. And it was on Instagram. I actually shared it in my stories because I'm like, hot take.
That
buddy.
is a hot take.
But yeah, so we'll see what happens. It will be interesting. Okay. Well, any thoughts on anything else that you want to throw out there before we wrap it up?
I just hope for the fan base alone that if nothing else, I'm sure nobody cares unless we win. But the one thing that I really want to see moving forward with this team is that, number one, we make it to the World Series, because if we don't make it, that's going to be real ugly. But it's firing on all three of those.
Yes.
All the pitchers got to be just glued in, clued in. You don't have to pitch 21 strikeouts. That's not what we're asking you.
Yeah.
You know, you got to create ground balls, up balls, down balls, whatever it may be.
Yep.
And then our hitting, which I don't worry about our hitting as much, because as soon as one gets rolling, it gets contagious.
They all do. Yes, for sure.
And I'm not super worried about even our regular defense, because we did do a few unique things this last weekend that I was like, oh, that was not how that's not what you're supposed to do there. But if we're firing, and even the other team's firing, at least it'll be a head-on, full-to-full battle blow, and the best or the luckiest. Sometimes it's luck, guys.
That's so true.
It literally, sometimes it's just luck.
It is.
And so I think we're absolutely fine if that's the case.
Yeah.
And if we get all of those going, we can win the World Series. There's no doubt in my mind we can. But if it's not all firing somewhat together, it's not going to happen. But something tells me after I watched that interview with Coach Gasso, the defense is for sure going to be firing. I think we're going to be fine with the offense. It's literally, I think our make or break is going to be our pitcher mentality, or the mental game of the pitchers, which, gee, do we just happen to have a really good pitching coach who deals with that? We do.
Absolutely.
Well, which, of course, everyone I know is Coach Jaime. It's Rocha, and it's so hard to say because it was always Coach Jaime to me.
Yeah.
She is one of the greatest humans to be in that position, because she is so just even-keeled. Nothing. She knows the right things to say.
That's so true.
The mental game to go out there with her pitcher and talk to him and stuff like that. I'm sure she is the best of the best. I mean, I never listened in on any of her pitching conversations when I was out there with, her and Lombardi when they used to play. But, I mean, I think that's going to be our pitchers' mentality, all the mental game. They've got to get it in their head. I can win anytime. I can strike anybody out. I can give you a ground ball. I can give you a pop fly, whatever it is. I think that's going to be our make or break this year.
I do not disagree.
And they have it. They just got to do it.
That's so
it's
true.
There. Every
We've
one of
seen
you.
it.
I know you probably won't watch this podcast before the World Series. I believe every single one of you, I don't care if you pitched one inning or all in every single game, every single one of you can do it, because I've seen it.
I've seen it too. I completely agree. Okay, so if you had to give some MVPs for the season, who would you give them to? And I will go first.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you take that pressure.
Because first of all, I really want to give a shout out MVP for Sid Barker, because I mean, she's somebody that's been around for a while. Like, we know her name, and she's always been there when we've needed her. And I know she hasn't always produced at the plate. And Coach said a while back, basically, that I know she doesn't, quote, produce at the plate, but her defense makes up for it. In lack of better terms, that's what she said. And that is so true, because, and I know she hasn't been perfect on the hot corner, but she has been so good over there considering what happened. Right. No one expected Nelly to not be over there. And for that to have happened so early in the season, obviously was probably good because it gave her time to adapt and all of that. But she really stepped up when we needed her. And she has had some pretty timely hits. I mean, I know they're not necessarily consistent, but she has had a few. But her stepping up over there, I think, deserves some sort of accolade to some degree, just a thank you or something, because
I can see that. But also, when these days, when Coach says, oh, she's not producing as much, at one time we only had 2 people batting below 3,
that is so true,
or something like that. So you're telling me what everybody used to average is the bottom of the barrel, and oh, she's not producing?
That's true. And you know who the other person was? Kendall Wells.
Right.
Kendall Wells, her batting average was like in the 3s, lower, like 3.27, I think. I know, heaven forbid. And that would be somebody else that I would do a shout out to, because her defense is incredible. I love watching her behind the plate. And I know, like, I really like catchers. I've just always enjoyed watching catchers. I think the way that they can frame a ball and their reactions and all of that, it really can feed the fire and fire up your pitcher, fire up your crowd, all the things. But I love Kendall Wells, not only for what she's done at the plate, hitting those home runs. I mean, I know we talked about that earlier, but just truly remarkable. And she's a freshman. And that's, I think, the biggest thing here is she's a freshman doing all that at the plate and behind the plate. And I really think a lot of her. And also, I would do some shout out accolade for Kai Minor, because in my opinion, she kind of came out of the woodwork, so to speak, because I mean, she's a freshman, and I knew her name, obviously recognized it, I've heard it, but she's one to me, holy moly, well, first of all, she is excellent in center field.
Yes.
And I know everybody wants to compare Jada Coleman, blah, blah, and we'll never have another Jada Coleman, but she's done excellent out in center field. But she has had some incredible hits, like the timing on her hitting and just getting the fire started, so to speak. Like, I feel like she deserves some sort of round of applause. Kai Minor, Kendall Wells, and Sid Barker, and that means I don't mean any disrespect to anybody else who I didn't name. It's just I feel like those three have stuck out to me this season.
Well, I will agree with you for two of them.
Okay.
Not that I don't agree with you for Barker, because Barker has stepped it up. And it is, when you're a player and you go through the season, which most of the time, or probably more back in the good old days when I played, you usually got into conference and you had a pretty set lineup.
Oh, right, yes.
You're pretty like, okay, this is the way it's going to go. Well, now that you can have, I don't know, 6, 7 more players than you used to, now we pitch by committee. We only played 2 games in Big 12 back in the day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, like, the fact that she stepped in early enough in the season, I think that did help her. And I mean, I think she definitely has filled that void very well. But I would say my third, other than and I'll talk about Wells and Minor in a second, would be Gabby Garcia, because defense this year.
How could I not mention her?
Of course, 1,000% I am biased to shortstops.
That's okay.
Absolutely. I will never not say that that's usually your best athlete. But after last year, you always worry about the sophomore slump. Yes. And believe me, I worry about it for Wells and Minor next year.
Yeah.
Already do I worry about it. But she's, I haven't even looked at her stats because they're overshadowed so much by the other two.
That's
that
true.
You wouldn't even, and half the other team.
Right.
I know she's batting great because almost everybody's batting 400 right now.
Yeah.
But her offense has been timely when needed for getting rallies, but her defense, I feel like, has really stepped it up. So that's what made me give that one.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned her because she's one of my favorites, if we're being honest. And I really hate that I didn't mention her. But if I just had to pick the 3, I would still stick with my 3 just for those reasons. But yeah, Gabby Garcia is for sure one of my favorites. And again, I didn't mention Agbayani. How could I not mention her? All the things. I mean,
we have such a good team. It's hard to be
it's really hard
because that's another thing that's wonderful. It's not one person or 2 people.
It's literally
you're like,
all of them.
Hey, who hit the home run today?
And they're all doing it.
And that'll lead me right into Kai Minor. That girl is so fast.
She is fast.
Which I know we have a freshman coming in next year. Last name's Williams. She is the daughter of a girl I used to play with.
Oh my gosh, how cool! Okay.
Yeah, I did not realize it until she posted it.
How neat!
And
okay.
So, and Shane was fast. I mean, I was impressed with her speed, and so I asked her. I was like, "Is she as fast as you?" And she goes, "Oh, she's faster than I am."
Oh, I love it.
And so, let me tell you, OU fans, Kai Minor's fast. I've seen it. I don't know how fast my friend's daughter is, but let me tell you, if it's as fast as she was, I could put her in her prime.
Okay.
No offense, Shane. Her in her prime against Kai Minor. If Minor was to beat her, it wouldn't have been by much. So if her daughter's faster, we're going to have
awesome.
2 crazy speed demons out there next year.
I love it. I love to hear that.
She reminds me of Lakeisha Washington. Does a ton of things and is very chill.
Oh, absolutely.
Very even keeled.
Very much so.
She does show more emotion than Keisha on the bag, though, which I think is part of just the today's players.
For sure.
And
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But she just kind of like, this is her everyday job. No big thing. I hit home runs. I hit a single and turn it into a triple, So she definitely, and as a freshman, lean hitting as high as because I think she's at 500 or she was at 500.
She's pretty close.
I mean, that's to come
Incredible.
in. It doesn't matter where you are, who you are, to come in and do that is really impressive. Of course, I think a lot of that and, Garcia does get overshadowed simply by Wells' home runs.
Yes.
And true. I'll put that on the side. We know she can hit home runs.
Yeah.
But her command presence as a catcher, as a freshman,
incredible.
And her excitement, which sometimes, girl, I love your excitement, but wait till the umpire calls that strike, please.
No.
She throws the ball sometimes and the umpire's like,
yes.
And I'm like, girl, just hold on a little bit. I love it.
I know. I know.
Cheering, she's, giving the Arsenio for a pitcher. But I think that's my, her hitting is amazing, which we have so many that hit well. And so obviously I can only relate that back to, JT doing his thing. And I will totally give it to technology because the technology of how everything's done they were interviewing the Bama girl this weekend. They did the pregame, mic up thing.
Oh, uh-huh. Yeah.
They were talking about how she charts everything she does. First of all, I wouldn't have even fathomed that. We had people charting the pitchers.
Right.
But the game, part of it was so much more simplistic back then.
Sure.
My mom yelled at me for years, see it and drive it.
Yeah.
I mean, that seemed to work just fine for us.
Right.
And we broke records too, so I know it was okay for back then.
Isn't that crazy?
But nowadays, the hitting's getting to the point where everybody's so good. I'm like, oh, okay, who cares? Whatever. you're gonna show me your defense, and that's gonna be it. And so that's where I really would give her. I'd give her the defensive and Garcia the defensive side.
Yes.
Kai Minor and her for the offensive side. I think that's great. And those would probably be. I mean, you're right. There's all others. Emerling's really turned it around this year. And by
really
God, she hits it now. I mean, last year when she hit it far, but she's just I'm going to hit it further this year.
Yep.
So she's done really well. Lexi McDonald over there at first, swapping in and out at first. Abby Dayton, 9-hole all year, batting almost 400. Everyone's like, good
incredible.
Lord. So we have so many that you can't.
So many.
Yeah,
I know.
Pickering was in a little bit of a slump there. And I think she's got it back and she's got the groove. And I think the fans are helping her with it. Girl, we're cheering you on. So obviously Parker, once again, all these top people that are just getting overshadowed by this.
I know. It's really hard. Yeah. As much as I love watching a home run, a grand slam, all of that, I don't know that anything fires me up as much as some good defense, and I love it. And so just sitting here talking about all of that and thinking about all the plays throughout the season, it's very exciting, but it makes me excited for the postseason, for what's to come. I mean, we've still got at least 5 games left for the season, I would say. And so at minimum,
it better be a lot less than that.
It sure better.
And I says.
Yeah, and I do think it will be. I do. But I just think, like I said, worst case scenario, we've got 5 more games left. Make the best of it. Let's support those girls and just look at how far they've come and what we have to look forward to. And it sure is fun being a Sooner fan.
It is, and I mean, it's great being a softball fan this year.
Oh, absolutely.
You literally, I have no clue.
Very true.
I know who I want to win, but it's going to depend on each head-to-head matchup in the day it's occurring.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, there's no rhyme or reason to how it would even play out right now.
That is so, so true. And, we could sit here and talk for another hour just about the sport.
Yeah.
And how far it's come. And I mean, I just remember even in the last decade, 15 years, you could only watch the World Series on TV. And it was a big deal to even be able to watch the Women's College World Series on TV. And now here we are, not only just watching postseason softball, but we've got regular season games in prime time. We've even had some on ABC before. What is happening? So
yeah, I think if I recall correctly, it was either 99 or 2000 was the first year they put every single game on ESPN2.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
And that was and now they show D2s.
Yeah, absolutely.
JUCO games.
Yes, all the
it depends on what
majors,
package, but you have flow softball, you have the ESPNs.
But just the fact that accessibility is there, and Plank being on the radio, I believe this season is his 10th season on the radio, and that alone is incredible. I mean, and social media has grown the game. Like, there's a lot of games I can't attend, obviously, and you get this, but I'm on Twitter, I'm watching the replays, I'm listening to Plank on the radio, I'm watching it on my phone, and to have all of these options available and all of these amazing athletes that are growing the game, how can you not be excited?
Oh, yeah. And let me just say, the only negative thing about social media, this is it. This is the only thing. The social media on Twitter will tell you before the home runs hit that you're watching. Yeah. I don't know how many times that Courtney's gone.
Well, I'm right there with Courtney. Yes. I cannot thank you enough. Again, like, I could sit here and talk to you for 5 hours, I'm certain. But we'll be talking more during the postseason for sure.
Oh, yeah, because this is going to be interesting. Fans, just hold on. It's going to be a wild, wild ride this year. Absolutely. It may be ugly, but we still might win.
We might.
So that's all that matters.
That's right.
This is going to be literally a battle to the death.
Well, for sure. It's going to be a good one, though. I can't wait.
Yep.